If you're starting to homeschool this year and your online shopping cart is full of curriculum you don't understand, close the tabs right now. You're skipping the most important step. I'm starting my own homeschool journey this year, but as a systems coach, I know that jumping straight into execution without a foundation is a recipe for disaster. I see business owners do this all the time. They buy expensive software before they know what their business actually needs. And homeschoolers do the same exact thing with curriculum. Today, I'm going to walk you through 3 foundational steps you must take before you buy a single book, print a single worksheet, or plan a single lesson. We're going to define your family's core values, establish your non-negotiables, and set up your baseline operational system so that you can actually survive the first month. Because if you build your homeschool on someone else's foundation, you will spend the entire year fighting a system that was never meant for you, and you're probably going to burn out by October. When we decide to homeschool, the panic sets in like almost immediately. We think, I'm not a teacher. I don't know how to do this. Am I going to ruin my kids? Are they going to actually listen to me? So we look for lifelines. We go online, we join 14 different Facebook groups, and we search for the best curriculum. We hope that buying the right box of books is going to magically make us competent. And we think that if we spend just enough money on a highly structured, rigorous program, it's going to do the work for us. But the curriculum is a trap. You're trying to solve an operational problem with a product. So let me give you an example. You buy a highly structured classical curriculum because it feels safe and it has amazing reviews. It requires 4 hours of seat work, heavy memorization, and a strict daily lesson plan. But you're a family that values flexibility in outdoor time and hands-on learning. And you're also a mom who runs a business and needs pockets of independent work without your kids. Within 3 weeks, you're going to be miserable. Your kids are crying at the kitchen table, you're exhausted from fighting them to finish the worksheets, and you think that you're failing at homeschooling. But you're not, okay? You just bought a system that contradicts your actual life. You bought a corporate suit for a job that requires hiking boots. The curriculum isn't bad. Most of it out there isn't from what I've seen. It's just bad for you. Let's be clear about what homeschool foundation is not. It's not a mission statement that you write on a chalkboard and post on Instagram and then ignore it when the math tiers start. It's not a list of academic goals for the year like my child will read chapter books by May. It's not a schedule or a daily routine. A foundation is the filter through which you make every other decision. This is the criteria that you use to say yes to one thing and then no to 100 other things. Step 1 is defining your core values. So what actually matters to you and your family? And I don't mean like what sounds good to say out loud. What I mean is what's actually true about how your family operates. Is it academic rigor? Is it creative freedom? Is it spending time outside, raising independent thinkers? Maybe it's protecting your time as a working mom so you can provide for your family without losing your mind. Maybe you guys are into sports, right? You have to name your values because they're going to dictate your curriculum choices. If your core value is learning through experience, you shouldn't buy a curriculum that requires 4 hours of workbook time every single day. If your core value is protecting mom's work hours, you shouldn't buy a teacher-intensive curriculum that's going to require you to read a script out loud for 3 hours. You need something that fosters independent learning. Your values are going to be your filter. So when you look at a piece of curriculum, you ask, does this support our core values or does it fight them? If it fights them, you don't buy it. No matter how many good reviews it has, no matter how many influencers swear by it, if it doesn't fit your filter, it does not come into your house. Once you have your values, the next mistake is trying to prioritize everything. You look at the scope of human knowledge and you panic. You want them to be great at math, fluent in a second language, skilled in an instrument, well-read classical literature, and coding their own apps by 10. When everything is important, nothing's important. So if you try to focus on 10 different subjects with equal intensity, you spread your energy so thin that you don't make meaningful progress anywhere. You end up exhausted and your kids end up overwhelmed. And this is especially true in the first year when you're trying to figure everything out. The first year of homeschooling is not about academic excellence. It's about operational survival. And it's about learning how to be in the same house together all day long without driving each other crazy. Step 2 is establishing your non-negotiables. These are 2 to 3 things that must happen every single day in order for you to consider the day a success. So for most families, especially in the early years, this is math and reading, and that's it. If you get math and reading done, then the day is a win. Everything else, like science experiments, history projects, art, music, it's all a bonus. So setting clear non-negotiables is going to protect your energy. It gives you permission to let the rest go when the day goes sideways. So if you have a massive deadline for your business, or if everyone's recovering from a cold, you don't have to stress out about missing the history diorama. You do the non-negotiables and then you close the books. Step 3 is setting up your own baseline operational system. So this means deciding how you're going to manage the daily flow before the kids even wake up. Where do the books live? Who's responsible for sharpening pencils? What happens when mom's on a call? You have to build the infrastructure of your day before you worry about the academic content. If the infrastructure is broken, the academics are never going to happen anyway. If you want to know exactly how to set up that operational system without relying on rigid timetables that fall apart by Tuesday, you need to watch the next video on building an adaptive homeschool schedule. I'll see you over there.